What's up, man?
What's going on, dude?
We are on the second episode into October. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Like I keep calling it the Halloween month. I keep calling it the horror month.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I hope everyone enjoyed the last episode, the survival episode. But we'd mentioned we wanted to get into Halloween, but David Gordon Green's Trilogy, and go do a quick overview of all three movies, and then our reaction to each, and then our pretty much reaction to the trilogy as a whole, and what he got right and what he got wrong.
Correct.
Sound good?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, let's roll into Halloween 2018.
Okay.
Of all people, like Danny McBride wanted to get this going, kept
I know,
pitching.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Like I was like, really? Danny McBride. But then I was like, well, he's a fan, and I was like, well, maybe it'll just work. And,
yeah, I mean it's a good take on that. Yeah.
And I remember them talking how they wanted to bring kind of the human element back. I couldn't find that, but I remember hearing that, and I was like, okay, I could dig that. Like they've been doing the supernatural thing for quite some time, and then they talked about bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, well, how are they going to do this? Because they did it with H2O already. They killed her off in Resurrection, so it's been kind of a mess. And now they wanted to retcon all the way back to the original Halloween, which I was like, cool, works. But I really liked Halloween 2, so I'm kind of bummed they didn't build off of that. But, I mean, the main reason was they scrapped the brother and sister thing. How did you feel about that?
I think I was okay about it, just because it didn't make sense in the first one. When you're little, you're like, oh, what the hell? What's going on? It's like it's
Where's
not
the
his
baby?
sister. Yeah. So I mean, I guess I was okay with it. Would it have made a difference? I think I've been okay either way.
Yeah, I think it was cool for Halloween 2, like they kind of tied it in. But then, I mean, to make movie after movie after movie to where like it almost handcuffed the series to where now he has to go after a family member, has to do this, and it was kind of took the I don't know, like almost the it was really scary in the first Halloween. Like, dude, this dude is just on random right now, walking through a neighborhood. He chose one girl and the friends that talk crap to him, and he's just raising hell. And then, it's just it's creepiness of the randomness. Like, okay, I just got picked, to where like, I just feel like it really handcuffed the series. So I'm kind of glad they got rid of that to a certain extent. So the plot for Halloween 2018 was Jamie Lee Curtis returns as her iconic role as Laurie Strode, who comes to her final confrontation with Michael Myers, who's played by Nick Castle and James Jude Courtney, the masked figure who has haunted her since she narrowly escaped his killing spree on Halloween night 4 decades ago.
Did you ever hear how you said like she came to be Laurie Strode again? Did you ever hear how it happened?
Wasn't it like Jake Gyllenhaal talked her into it or some shit like that?
Jake Gyllenhaal talked it. I guess they're like families that known each other for a while or something, and he's the one who talked her into doing Laurie Strode again.
That was so random, and I didn't. I did not know that. Like that was just like I was looking up stuff on the movie, and I was just like, "What?" I was like,
I did. I was like, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, hey, whatever. I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So pretty much the story was, Laurie has been struggling for 40 years. Got these podcast dudes. We should really watch our tracks. Got these people doing a podcast, interested in Michael, and through this whole thing, people are obsessed to hearing Michael speak. They want to hear him speak.
Yeah.
Dr. Zartane wants to hear him speak. There's just this obsession, and now he's almost obsessed, as Loomis was.
Mm-hmm.
And and you're sitting there wondering. That's what I was wondering. I'm like, okay, how is Michael and Laurie gonna cross paths now? Like, if he's back to randomness. But I'll tell you what, that opening scene was fantastic.
Correct.
Whenever he's holding the mask, say something. I was like,
I love the fact when he slowly held it up, and you can just see him like turn just enough.
Yeah.
And then and he turned back, and I was just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, he knows.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was when I was like, okay, where are they going with this? What are they going to introduce? And, come to find out, obviously Michael breaks out, and he is just on a random, like, he's following the podcast people, obviously.
Yeah.
Killing everyone, gets the famous mask, heads off to Haddonfield, and has one of the coolest one-shot scenes of any horror movie is when he's walking down the street, and he's just one house picking off, second house picking off, third house done, and it was like, whoa, okay, we're back to he's just blending in, and no one knows what the hell's going on.
Blending in, laying bodies down, that's all.
Yeah. And they had the twist where a lot of people were like, what the fuck? And I think they would have been cool with it. Well, first of all, they introduced a new character. Was it Sheriff Hawkins?
Yeah, Will Paxton.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Which I was like pumped. I was like, cool. I am gonna really enjoy watching this.
That's what I was getting at. I was just like, okay, I'm liking the characters so far. This is actually kind of working.
Yeah,
on me.
I kind of feel like they missed a window for him to play Ben Tramer.
Oh,
like I was like, dude, Ben Tramer's
not
dead anymore. He's not dead. So because he dies in the second one, so I was like, kind of a swing and the miss. Now and
I mean,
that
would have worked out too.
Yeah. So Will Patton.
Why the hell did I think of that? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I was kind of like, okay, well, whatever. And Allison is Laurie's grandmother. Judy Greer is her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
They don't believe her. Laurie Strode's turned into pretty much a nut.
Yeah.
Outside looking in, we're all like, why don't you believe her? And, obviously, the trauma that Laurie had gone through had turned her pretty much into a recluse nut job, trying to plan for Michael's escape, which eventually happens. I didn't understand. One thing I didn't understand is she was there for the bus transfer, right?
She wanted to be. I think it was more like a conscious thing. Like, I know he's...
Why wouldn't she follow him?
I know he's there. I don't know.
It was so weird she didn't follow him. Like you're this up in arms about this guy. Dude, if I'm that messed up, I'm following this dude, making sure he's getting there.
That's what I mean. Like, wouldn't you want to be in the back of your head, like your conscious being like, okay, he's locked up still. He's good. He's back, but I guess not.
Yeah. So, like Michael does get out, and she's right. Laurie's right, and all of a sudden, like I said, they had that twist with Dr. Sartain. I would have been okay with that twist to where he's trying to reunite Michael with Laurie just to see him hunt, where it makes him tick.
Damn.
But man, when he put on that mask, that was so stupid looking.
That was dumb.
Yeah,
I 100% agree. So,
he showed up when he was in the headlights. I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "No, this is not the route we're going, is it?" Oh man, but so that went that route. They're introduced back at the Laurie's Fortress, which I actually really enjoyed. It brought a lot of... It went back to the roots to where, Michael's hiding within the mannequins. You don't know where Michael is. This whole movie, we've been following Michael. He's hardly in the background anymore. He's hardly stalking people like he did in the original. But this one, it was dude, when she is sweeping her house... I was like, why are you sweeping with a fucking rifle? Was it a rifle or a shotgun?
It was a shotgun, I think.
I was like, dude, he's going to grab that fucking barrel.
Yeah, it was
shotgun. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, he's gonna grab that thing and be done, but obviously that
It's
didn't
not
happen.
coming around the corners like she was. Yeah, that, for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he busts out of the mannequins and knocks her out and throws her overboard or over the balcony. And then all of a sudden, Allison shows up, and then Laurie's gone, which was a cool throwback to the original.
Yep, love that stuff.
Yeah, I
got some notes. I was eventually when we're finished about the
cool.
review and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. So then he goes off. They end up trapping him. Or they end up trapping him in the basement, and pretty much catching the house on fire to the point of where there's no way anyone's getting out of this damn thing.
No, 100%.
That house would have burned.
The steel bars and shit that she had reinforced, dude. That was it ain't happening. Yeah. No way.
No, and
he just stood there and just stared. Like, damn.
Dude, that was amazing. How he just stared. Flames are licking his, almost like licking his face, and she can't get out, or he can't get out. I was like, man, he's done.
Yeah.
I was gonna say cooked, and that would have been dumb, but I was like, well, he's done. I was like, all right, cool.
You did it, so.
Yeah, I was like, they ended it. Yeah. I was like, they ended it. It's kind of a throwback to Halloween 2. That's what it felt like, when he was, when Dr. Loomis caused the explosion.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, cool. They ended it. They kind of gave a little bit of a cliffhanger when Allison was holding the knife at the end. So I was like, oh, where are they going to go with that? Oh, okay, cool. And then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, so what was your reaction when you first saw the movie?
So, it's not a terrible film, right?
Yeah.
I did like it. Is the best? Nah. There's a lot going on in this movie where I don't think it was needed. Like, to be honest, I don't care for Allison to be there. I don't see the point of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy how they just pushed her daughter away, and I get why the whole situation, her being, her thinks her mom's crazy and whatnot, but I didn't care for the Allison part. I was like, whatever. But my big thing is there's no tension through this whole movie, man.
See, and that's the thing. It wasn't till the end to where she was sweeping the house. That's
when you got kind of like a little build up. You're like, oh, okay. But majority of the movie, like whatever, 85% it's like kind of like laid back, like, oh, okay, here, there.
Because you just constantly see him.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah, I want to be on the edge, I want to have that fear in the back of my mind, like, oh, shit. Oh, he might be in here,
They did take away a really cool part for the trailer when he was in the closet.
Yeah.
Dude, that would have been
crazy.
Amazing. Crazy. That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
But I saw it in the trailer, and I knew it. Like, I was like, why the fuck would you show that in the trailer? And but dude, that's the
stuff they need to leave out of those trailers. That's why a lot of times I don't watch trailers, because I don't want to know anything.
I used to be huge into trailers.
Me too.
Now, my brother is very big on it. He'll see a teaser and just be like, I'm done. I'm not going to dissect anything. I'm not going to do that anymore. And it was like, wow. Yeah. So,
but, I wish Jamie Lee Curtis was in it a little bit more. I think they focused on Michael a lot more, which, I mean, that's fine. But I think them two together throughout the movie, it's kind of like the first, the original. It's whatever,
Yeah.
I thought Michael... Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. There was a lot of throwbacks. Like, Laurie was behaving like Michael.
Yeah.
Like when she's waiting outside.
Oh, yeah. I got that. Allison. I got that written down.
Oh, okay.
Like a throwback. I'll just say it right now. Throwbacks like the original. I love the fact that the kids ran into him on Halloween night.
Yeah.
Just like he did, when her granddaughter's looking out the window and she sees Laurie standing there. Same thing. Like, Laurie was looking out the window and seeing Michael standing there. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
The patients wandering the streets after the bus crash.
Yeah.
Same thing, and Michael standing in the distance when they were at the cemetery.
Yes.
He was just back there. It was like, that's all that throwbacks to the original. I was just like, oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah, that's cool, man. I love that stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was
dude.
a nice honor, like an honoring of it.
Yeah. But I thought Michael looked good. I mean, Nick Castle obviously fucking great. Michael or James Jude Courtney, they all did a great job being the shape. I thought the mask looked good. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the better masks. It's they had a hard time getting that as close as they can to the first one without. I guess William Shatner won't give out his rights to a serial killer or whatever. So they have to like get it as close as I know. They have to get it as close as possible without resembling William Shatner. So
I did want to hit on one part though when he was reunited with his mask at the gas station. That was so powerful, dude.
Yeah, that was just
awesome. Like, whoa! Like,
yeah, the way he held it.
I felt it, man.
Yeah, that was real cool.
Was cool.
Yeah, there was a really interesting level to Michael too. Like he really played a lot more with his victims. Like, dude, when that chick is in the stall and he just reaches over and starts dropping teeth.
That I had a like Rob Zombie experience with. Like in my eyes, that was like Rob Zombie take on stuff.
Right. Yeah. Felt like a Rob Zombie type move. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, I just thought that was cool, and that whole scene, man, was so intense. He's shaking the door, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude!"
You're so vulnerable at that moment. Yeah. Like, where is there to go? Like, where is there to go? And this was kind of like I was wondering, like, all right. Homeboy's going to come in here and beat Michael's ass. Michael's 60-some-odd years old. No. He's strong as a fucking ox. like, okay. Michael is super strong still. Like, okay, we're back with that. He did not skip a beat. And a lot of people were wondering if he was alive. If he was left alive. But I guess he's dead. So.
Yeah. I guess we don't know.
Yeah.
But,
so
like on, like, what would you rate that? Like on,
that movie?
Yeah, I put in like a letter grade.
Okay. I would do a C+, B-.
Okay, I had it at C+. So
yeah,
perfect. I was like, good. I was like, I'm not gonna destroy it. Like when we did the reviews on all the films back last year.
Yeah.
But I was like, is it a C+? So
yeah, it's just solid. Average.
Yeah.
I was expecting more.
I think I was too. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but then that was supposed to be it. There was actually a scene cut to where Michael actually dies from his wounds, where him and Laurie like go at it in the middle of a field, and Michael succumbs to his wounds, and they call it good. But money talks.
It does.
Halloween 2018 did very well, and I remember sending this to you and Eric when they announced in July of 2019 that Halloween kills and Halloween ends, and it was like, oh shit, we're getting a trilogy.
2 more.
A trilogy.
2 more, dude.
Yeah, I was like, awesome. This is gonna be awesome. I was so excited, and the announcement was really cool, and more Michael Myers for me, the better.
Absolutely.
And I was so.
I mean, for you, wrong. Was it in the back of your mind that he was still alive?
I was like, there's a way, but how?
Yeah, because I was like, dude, they didn't show him his body. They didn't show him like actually dying.
Yeah, which I thought.
But I was like,
awesome.
It's over. That's it.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna? Like, I was sitting there, I was like, what is he gonna do? Like, everyone's like, well, the gunshots in the floor, when they were shooting into the floor. Could have provided a weak point, but I was like, does Michael have the ups of like Kobe Bryant? Like,
I think he had Jordans on that night. And he jumped up that shit, man. What the hell?
So it was just like, okay,
he could have did that in the first place, like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like the flames were so big, they were literally licking his face, like, and I was sitting there too, like it bothered me. I was like, again. Why would I know Laurie was pretty wounded? Why wouldn't you stay to watch that fucker burn?
Yeah.
Like I was like, no, I'm staying right here. I'm armed. I'm gonna chill right here and watch this thing burn to the ground.
And then the opening scene for Kills, it was them in the back of that truck, and she's like,
"Let it burn."
No, it's like you should have been there. You should have,
Yeah,
I would have did more. Tried
yeah.
to, do whatever you can to put him on the fucking ground.
Yeah,
I know he was already trapped in there, but get. I know you got a gun somewhere. Shoot him. Should do more to get him down.
I'm surprised they didn't. God, did they have a gun on them though? Did they?
I'm just saying, it was her house. So I mean, I'm sure there's like 20 fucking guns laying around somewhere.
Right. Well, I mean, shit. The shit they had. I'm surprised. Like that house would have fucking exploded with all the gas, all the gas lines. Like it's like that's not gonna just go.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting there in the house. I'm like, don't tough talk this guy. Get the fuck out of there, man. That thing's gonna blow up. That thing would have been toast. But anyway, it's a movie. Mm-hmm. So Kills comes out. I was super excited. David Gordon Green returned.
Yep.
The cast is pretty much all the same. They added, oh God, I have the list right here. But they bring back Tommy Doyle. Like they bring back Lindsay.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, and I was like, cool. They're bringing them back. Now we're gonna see how they've been affected.
I kind of was excited on that one.
Yeah, and it started off really cool. They started at the bar, and he's explaining everything, and yada 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 that they went through, and I was like, oh, okay, they're really setting this up to come full circle. I don't know how much Laurie's going to be able to do, being all messed up.
Yeah, no shit, right?
And come to find out, she never leaves the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, and I was like, all right, and this was the movie that I really got upset because I feel like they wrote these guys fucking stupid. The humans were so stupid in this movie. It bothered me. Like, there's one scene, like, Anthony Michael Hall sitting there as Tommy Doyle. He's like, we stay together so much. And then they pull up in the Jeep and he's alone at the park. Like, hey. I was like, you just said it 30 seconds ago. Just stay together, and you're just sitting there, hey, I got my bat.
Shit, right.
Yeah. And it was just like, okay, I'll let that one go.
Yeah.
But
I thought that shit was when they reintroduced him and whatnot, and he did the whole evil dies tonight thing. Dude, to me that was cheesy as hell, man.
It was so.
Like, what are you doing, man?
It was so bad. I knew what they were going. They were going after mob mentality.
Yeah.
But dude, they did the same.
It. Well, they did the mob back in number 4 too. Remember that?
Yeah.
Couple of those guys
I prefer
together.
them.
Yeah.
I prefer the redneck boogaloo boys over.
I was like, evil dies tonight. I was like, come on, dude.
It was so.
I was like, that's kind of like embarrassing almost.
It was overused so much, like chanting, like "evil dies tonight," and like people were like, "I'm gonna use this as an example." When they pull up in the Jeep, and Lindsay gets out, hey, and like, oh, there's a guy playing peekaboo. Like, okay, Michael Myers is there,
no shit.
And they find out, and so the people are in the Jeep, and the nurse, like, this one's for Dr. Loomis, like you really just had to tough talk him, and then she click, and I was like, oh well, she's dead. That was just stupid. And then
more throwback there too when he climbed the vehicle.
Yeah, from the first one.
The window.
Yeah,
that was cool.
And then the doctor trying to choke him with a stethoscope.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that is. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, I'm watching this in utter disbelief. Like,
he tried.
Seriously?
He tried.
Like, it's just like a piece of rubber. Like, and then here comes Homegirl just firing. And he's just sitting in the driver's seat like, you keep missing me. And then he kicks the car door and she shoots herself.
Yeah, I
know. I was like, God. It was like, Michael just found the dumbest group of people I've ever met. And then Lindsay just sees Michael take out 3 people, and she comes up with a bag of rocks. Just boom! Boom! And I was like, oh my God. But then another thing that doesn't make sense, but obviously something else happened, was she runs to the creek, which was one of the creepiest. That was a creepy scene.
Oh
and
yeah, for sure.
you know, she's hiding. He's walking along the what was it, a bridge, and you know, looking for her, couldn't find her, ends up giving up, and ends up taking off. And then like they find her later, and she's just disheveled and beaten.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Like, did the rocks come alive and just beat the shit out of her? Like,
Crazy,
what happened?
Rockman.
And so it was like, okay, well, that's weird. Then you had to deal with the whole mob at the hospital, the useless sheriff, who I thought was going to be the baddest dude ever from the first one. And they're like sitting there like, we don't have the police support. I remember when Tommy Doyle's freaking out. We don't have the police support. Like, yeah, you do. They were all at the bus scene. Call the cops, guys. Like, call them. Like, where are the cops? Like, is Haddonfield police, like, do they have, like, 3 cops? They're all at the house at the end. Call the fucking cops, everyone.
It was just a rough night.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're just booked. They're all over the city, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess they could have been at Laurie's house with, you know, like, and this is where.
I mean, I guess they could have been at the hospital.
Yeah, this is where I'm going to start. I'm going to start picking this movie apart. One of the coolest scenes ever. So obviously Michael survives, hiding in the gun shelf, safe room, closet, and takes out the firefighters. Just takes them all out. Just got beaten by 3 chicks, but takes out 9 dudes. You know, like with saws and
fucking
like all this shit. Like,
the hooks and shit. Yeah, just whoops their
like
ass.
Okay, you know, that doesn't make sense, but okay, so he takes them all out, and you know, and then he faces off at the mob with the mob at the end, which was interesting. Again,
same thing.
A group of very stupid people
just
like
whoop it and then just go whooping on his ass.
Dude, why would you sit there and just look at the guy with the revolver and be like, you need to unload in the back of his head right now? Like, I'm not going near him.
All of them, just all of them.
Shoot the gun. Keep distance from this guy. It's proven this guy's a fucking, you know, this guy's a mess. But I was just so relieved to watch. I was bummed that Tommy Doyle turned into such a prick little shit that I was like, just kill this fucking guy. He's the one that made Evil Die Tonight. He can go.
Oh shit, dude. Oh, it did, right? It did die, apparently.
Yeah. So I guess I skipped the plot, but. You know, the plot was minutes after Laurie Strode, her daughter Karen, and granddaughter Allison left masked monster Michael Myers caged and burning in Laurie's basement. Laurie is rushed to the hospital, life-threatening injuries, believing she finally killed her lifelong tormentor. But when Michael manages to free himself from Laurie's trap, his ritual bloodbath resumes. As Laurie fights her pain and prepares to defend herself against him, she inspires all of Haddonfield, which she didn't. She inspires all of Haddonfield to rise up against their unstoppable monster. The Strode women join a group of other survivors of Michael's first rampage who decided to take matters into their own hands, forming a vigilante mob that sets out to hunt Michael down. Once and for all, evil dies tonight.
God damn it.
they even had to put it in the plot reaction, or the plot synopsis.
They want you to know, dude. It's dying tonight.
Yeah. And... You know, there was stuff that was really good in this movie. Like, Michael was brutal.
Oh God, dude.
But, dude, you know what? I'll say this: my favorite part of the movie was the 2 gay dudes.
Yes, that was funny. Like, I actually meant to say like a little clip earlier, or not clip earlier.
Big John.
I didn't like the amount of comedy that was in the first one. Like, there was like. Hit here and there, you know. I was like, okay, that's too much, dudes, you know. But you know what? That scene was awesome.
Yeah,
that whole scene was great.
They were interesting. Great. Big John, Little John, Big John, dude. Big John got it bad. The armpit.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, man.
Dude, that took the breath out of me. I was like, oh shit. Oh God.
I'm glad they like focused more on the killing scenes, you know, because. Like the first one, I felt like they just walked around and it's like, oh shit, someone's dead, you know. And this one, they showed all
yeah, they did. They showed everything. It really lived up to the title when it came to that.
That's what I was actually put down too, I guess.
Oh.
That's why they chose the title Halloween Kills.
Yeah. And, you know, the husband and the wife earlier in the film, forgive me, I don't remember that. They were interesting characters. They were, you know, just having a Halloween Dude, and there was something that was really unusual. Back to like the Rob Zombie feel was when he killed the husband and he kept planting knives in his back.
Dude, yeah. It was more like a real hardcore killing. Yeah.
That was tough to watch. I was like, dude, and she's alive watching him do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a tough watch right there. Like, dude, he just keeps planning them and it was weird. Like, I was like, what is he doing? Because he would like plant one knife and then held his hands like he was like a kid or something. Like, oh, I don't know if I like that one. Oh, next one. And I was like, that's a weird behavior. Like, I've never seen Michael do that.
So
yeah, that's what I thought they were really going for. Like, okay, he's really
that.
Like, obviously, he's mentally ill.
That lady
but
reminded me of that nurse from the Rob Zombie movie.
That was
brutally murders like that, pretty much like that too.
Yeah.
So maybe it was something like that. I don't know, but she reminded me of her.
Yeah, he plants the knife right in the back of her head in that one.
Man, dude.
Oof. Yeah, that was bad. But so my overall reaction when this came out was I hate the movie. I like Michael. Like the only way I can justify this movie is the husband and the wife, Big John, Little John, were enjoyable. That was really the only enjoyable parts of the movie for me.
Yeah.
Outside of the kills.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended. Like, the kills were good.
Yeah, they were damn good.
Absolutely zero tension in the movie.
Nope.
The mask was super cool. The half-burned mask was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And honestly, I would give this one probably a D+.
Okay, so I got it at a C.
Okay.
So, just you can go ahead and say D+, C for me too.
Yeah, because
yeah, yeah. I mean, you pretty much said it all. I thought the storyline kind of lacked. No, you're good. You're good. It was like a horror action movie because of how many kills and everything was going on, which I was fine with. I loved it. I was just like, yeah, this is intense, But there was none of that fear that we wanted. Like you said, no tension. There was no,
And then like a really weird fucking scene where like all of a sudden Laurie's in the hospital with whatever the cop's name is, and she's like, the more he kills, the more he transcends. I was like, where the fuck did you just come up with that? Where did you just come up with that? Like does he? Is that the case? Is that what we're going for? Is that true because you just said it, or where did it just come from? Like, okay, that's odd. And you saw Michael become stronger and stronger the more he killed, and I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense. And I felt that Karen really redeemed herself in this movie. I thought she was awesome.
Mm-hmm. She realized now that her mom was telling
was right.
Yeah.
And
I'm the one who's been bad.
Yeah, the gotcha moment was pretty sweet. I really enjoyed that. But my God, why the fuck would you walk back up into that house? And here's another thing. So the first movie, they were obsessed with him speak. Well, you know what? We'll get into that for the whole thing. So yeah, it was just kind of like Karen dies. Laurie finds out. All of a sudden, Laurie's okay and needs to leave the hospital. And it's like, okay, we're going to have another showdown. There's no time jump. Like, Laurie's leaving the hospital, ready to go find Michael. And we're ready to go. So, Halloween Ends comes out. Directed again by David Gordon Green, and everyone was suspecting, like, what is this? Like, what is it? Michael keeps looking out the window. Is he looking at the radio station? The radio station's gonna have a meaning to this. Why? There was all this speculation. Like, he keeps looking out the window. Which, how do we not go back to the flashback scene? How the fuck did I just fuck that up?
Yeah, we completely bypassed that, huh?
Yeah. So back to kills. So the flashback scene was also incredible. I don't know how I forgot about that. I guess it's like overshadowed by...
And that's fair. We were just kind of ranting for a second.
Yeah,
too.
right.
But,
They wanted to do this in the first one.
Oh, they should have.
Yes. Yeah, they should have. But they said, don't get too technical with it and blah, blah, blah. They bring back Dr. Loomis. That actor did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
I mean, he had prosthetics all over his face, but did a great job. The guy who played Michael Myers was amazing. I thought he was the best since the original. Just how he moved. So it was really a really awesome scene, and there's something I want to talk about that, how they talk about the more he kills, the more he transcends, because everyone was talking like, dude, Michael's at gunpoint. Why did he give up? And I was like, well, maybe he's outmatched. He hasn't killed, like, now that Laurie said that, I was like, okay, did he just not kill enough to become what he is now? But, I mean, he's got or is it a plot hole?
It could be.
Am I just trying to explain a plot hole?
But it could be a plot hole, to be honest. Yeah.
I'm trying to explain a plot hole. Yeah, so, but it was an awesome scene. It was so good. The mask was amazing. But then again, this is where this guy just doesn't fucking get it, Brandon. Michael, he has an eye wound in present day.
Yep.
There's no signs of an eye wound because you see his eyes when he's choking him and he's got the flashlight going at him when he's choking the partner, the police officer. Yeah. And then you put the needle hole in the mask in present day, but there's no fucking damage in that new in the mask in the flashback. So like, how do you miss these things? Like, you have such high detail with the mask and the eye being damaged, and you don't display them in the flashback. Like, it was so frustrating to me. I was like, whatever. Like, let it go. So, yeah, I guess I am explaining a plot hole.
5% of people probably caught that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, a lot of people were making a big deal in the first Halloween. His eye's damaged. Cool, that's awesome. And then they made a big deal, like when he looked and he had the needle, the sewing needle puncture in the mask.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And they just never they didn't play that into the flashback, and that annoyed me so much. But anyway, that was a very good part. Also, I thought that was a great part.
Yeah, for sure.
To show how that night ended. So. All right, so should we go to Halloween Ends now?
Halloween Ends now.
All right, thank God.
Yeah.
So the plot, they did do a time jump, which was really surprising for me, and I'm assuming a lot of people, the way Halloween Kills ended. So 4 years after the events of last year's Halloween Kills, that's worded weird.
Yeah,
Laurie
I understand it.
Okay. Laurie is living with her granddaughter Allison and is finishing writing her memoir, which was awful. Michael Myers hasn't been seen since. Laurie, after allowing the specter of Michael to determine and drive her reality for decades, has decided to liberate herself from fear and rage and embrace life. But when a young man, Corey Cunningham, is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror that will force Laurie to finally confront the evil she can't control once and for all. So, Corey Cunningham.
Wow.
So
I'll give it this. Wait, go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
I don't understand how Laurie can go 4 decades. I know they say it here. She can go 4 decades and just be a fucking mess about her friends dying and being attacked. Went decades knowing he's locked up and is an absolute fucking disaster. She's a wreck. She's pretty much ruined her life.
Yeah.
So, but knowingly that Michael is locked up, she knows exactly where he is, so forth and so on. But, after you have a hell of a night to where fucking 30 people die, one is your daughter and your son-in-law, and your granddaughter's attacked, and you have no idea where Michael is. Now's the time you're like, hey, what?
Write a memoir.
What am I doing? I'm gonna write a book, and we're just gonna be happy. We're gonna be happy.
No idea.
And then Tommy Doyle's dead too.
Yeah.
So, like, dude, this guy wipes out a neighborhood, and we're just like, you know what? I think I'm going to be fine. Like, I was just like, fuck.
Everything's okay.
Yeah, I just thought that
right
was
now.
such a stupid.
Yeah,
stupid
I
take.
agree. That was just weird. I didn't understand that either. No, I'll give it to him in the beginning of this movie when you meet Corey and everything like that, and he's babysitting that kid and whatnot, and he's in the kitchen doing like dishes or something, and then he's talking to the kid and he's not answering, so he kind of goes and looks for him. That lamp's knocked over. The door's open. It's like, oh shit, Michael's here, dude. Like, it really gave me strong Michael Myers vibes, man.
Yeah.
And then you figure out, like, oh shit, okay, it's just a kid pulling pranks on him and, whatnot. And then the fucking accident happens, which was fucking insane, dude. I did not see that coming on.
No, seeing the kid bounce off the floor was not something I was ready for at all.
And then after that, I was like, what the fuck? Is this a different movie? Did we change the channel? Like, what just happened?
It was so weird. Like, they abandoned. Like, the first thing I saw was someone saw this movie and they posted on a Facebook reel, and they're like, people are gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
And I was watching this, and I'm like, this is how we come to the end. This is how we end it. This is something to where, like, you do a one-off, like a what-if movie. Because I would be okay with that. Like, it's a what-if movie.
This is a whole other movie. Not even Halloween.
We're just jumping the shark and, like, oh, the evil's with him now? Like, what?
What the fuck did Michael don't show up to, like, halfway through the fucking movie, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he drags Corey into a storm drain. That's what was the first little bit of, oh, there's Michael. Like, what the hell, dude?
And he grabs him by the neck. He's like, I'm going to let you go because I see the evil within you.
See me inside you.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, man?
I was like, this is so stupid. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like he's a fucking creature in the fucking pit. So he brings Allison's boyfriend to him so he can feed him. Like, here, look what I brought you.
Yeah.
Like,
all of a sudden.
Oh.
Yeah. And they clear.
I actually watched this fucking clip of this dude, and it shows like Michael like going to town, and then the guy's like, "Why is Michael nutting right now?" Because if you watch when he kills him, he's like,
he powers up again.
Yeah, he's like, this dude's nutting.
Yeah, which brings back to where, like, Laurie's right. Like, oh, the more he kills, the more he transcends.
Yeah, I guess.
And I'm like, dude, we're not even there right now. Like. We are so.
If that's the case, he would have been extremely strong at the end of kills because he killed like everybody that day.
Yeah.
So he should have been like immortal.
Yeah, like, oh, he had to go off to heal. No, I think we're past that.
Too much, huh?
Yeah,
he overdosed.
But it was just like, okay, like what is he in the sewer for? Like why? And it's obvious. Like they showed signs to where like he is killing. But just not so much, like all the missing people signs and stuff, and the bum, saying, he kills. I see people go in and never come out, and blah blah blah. And it was just like I thought this was a fucking insult on how to end it. Cool parts. There were some cool parts. Some of the kills were cool.
Yeah.
But this one definitely, they just jumped the shark, and I don't know if he just wanted to be done with it or try something new or whatever, but it was so out of left field to where what they were building off in the first two, it didn't land. Like,
I'm wondering if they like announced Halloween Ends but did not have the plot down yet. And then
I have no idea.
Like, oh, we have to do this. We already announced it, so we have to do it.
I just feel like it was the director, like, I'm going to put my stamp on this. I'm going to flip this all around. I'm going to show that Michael, it's not Michael. It's something else, and it's, it could be passed on between people, because I guess there was an ending to where, I don't know if you ever noticed, but at the end when they're playing Blue Oyster Cult, Michael's mask is on Laurie Strode's coffee table.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I guess there was an ending to where, like, Laurie actually tries to choke Allison and says, "Run! The evil is inside me now."
Oh, my God, dude.
Oh, yeah. I was like, Christ. I was like,
that one.
Yeah, I was like, this movie could have gotten worse. Like,
You holding your hand back.
idle hands. Yeah.
Yeah, idle hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Run.
Yeah,
Fuck out
but
of here, dude.
yeah, this movie, I was watching it and I was like, I get what they were trying to go for, but don't end everything. No pun intended. Don't end everything based off this movie. Like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
And just ending it all and have like the fight at the end. I'm like, how is he?
They could have took
like
that last 10 minutes and just added it to kills and been done.
yeah, just be, exactly.
That would have been it.
There you go, Brandon.
I'd have been a lot happier with that.
They could have done
Seriously.
that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
Wow.
We didn't need to be brought in with Corey and fighting freaking whatever, the teenagers, marching band kids and shit, you know, like we didn't need all that bullshit. We didn't know Corey and Allison's love life and all that crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not seriously.
I did love all the memes coming out where it's Michael on the back of Corey's scooter.
I swear to God,
instead of Allison.
I started laughing. Even my son was like, "Was Michael on the back?" I was like, "No, he wasn't on the back." Because I sat there, I was like, "Son of a bitch, they put Michael on the goddamn bike, dude."
Wee.
That's a short.
Yeah, I should have done it.
Oh,
They
dude.
should have. But I would give this movie. I don't even want to spend too much time on it. I hated that they decided to end this way. This would have been a cool like anthology. Like, you know, hey, we made a Halloween series. You guys can, you know, we're going to have 8 episodes. You can do anything you want with the characters. They're not going to be tied together. I want to see how you would represent Michael and do it that way.
Oh,
and I would have been okay with it. Like, I was like,
that'd be
okay.
different then. Yeah, okay.
A standalone, I could see, like, all right, whatever. I don't have to sit there and have this tied to the lure of everything else. I already had to struggle through kills, which was like drinking a shit shake. And now... I gotta swallow this thing. I was like, oh, that's tough. But I would honestly give this movie, as a part of the trilogy, I would a healthy D-. A standalone, like if it was a like, hey, we're gonna try something different. We're gonna do a quick standalone. I would give this a C. C? C-. C.
Okay.
I would appreciate if they tried something different, but it's not tied to anything.
Yeah. I kind of said the similar thing. I didn't do a standalone, but it's like out of courtesy of John Carpenter, I gave it a D.
Yeah.
So, like, if he wasn't tied to this movie like the others,
yeah,
I'd have been like, you guys fucking failed.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yup.
This is horrible, man.
Yeah.
And with the fact that Corey
sucked.
comes back and beats the hell out of Michael and then takes his mask.
Whoa.
Like, he's just super weak there.
Which didn't make sense. Because I even said, I was like, how is Michael losing a one-on-one fight with a 70-year-old woman? And they're like, well, he's powered down. I said, no,
dude.
because he was just at that doctor's house.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if you can lift any woman to have enough power to pin her against the wall with a knife, you're plenty fucking strong.
You're strong,
You're
dude.
plenty strong.
And then Corey comes in who gets his ass whooped by teenagers and then beats Michael's ass.
Yeah, I have the power now.
Yeah,
the evil's in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people were fucking furious with that scene. And so was I. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is where we are in 2020, 2021? I was like, this is where we are now with movies?
Yeah.
This is terrible.
I'll give it to Corey when he was killing those kids, dude. He did have some pretty fucking vicious kills.
Was a dope scene.
Yeah,
that was
like
sweet.
pretty vicious. And then the radio host dude.
Yeah, the tongue.
Cut his fucking tongue off. Yeah, that was. I was like, whoa, dude. I mean, that's all Michael-esque, right? Like it felt like a little bit of like Michael Myers.
Almost next level. Like, dude, when he took the welder to that dude's face.
Oh man.
Or not the welder, but the what I'm blanking out here. The torch. Yeah. Like, that was brutal. And that dumb chick who runs in front of the path of the car or the truck just to hop over.
You know what? That's your own fault there, dude.
Like, what are you doing running straight from a car? Just step aside.
Yeah.
Yeah. got mowed over between the fence and the ground. I was like, damn, that's brutal. But
so it reminded me of Austin Powers. Stop!
yeah,
Get out of
yeah,
the
right,
way.
yeah. But that scene was really cool. I liked that scene, and that could have been like a passing of the torch moment, but it just if it failed on the execution. That's all.
Yep.
But
I agree.
so as a, overall, Brandon, of the trilogy, what do you think they got right and what do you think they got wrong?
I love the fact that they had Laurie Strode. That was
Okay.
that was a big one. I like the kills. The kills were there. And he was that stalkerish figure still, in the first one at least. The second one kind of lost it, but and not obviously the third one just took a dump. Getting wrong, or you just want to start with getting right?
Whichever. Just talk about both. Yeah.
The tension, man. You know,
The lack thereof.
I think watching the original, it built that tension so strong where the darkness in the corners and the music just hit at those right moments where you're like,
Yes.
oh shit, and it kept you so like on the edge the whole time. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. These did not.
No,
And
because Michael
I missed
in the original one and the second one, he's always in the background.
yeah,
And you're like,
always
dude,
there.
dude, like he's right there, like, and after that,
Stalkerish, yeah.
every shadow or dark hallway, you're looking for him.
Yeah.
And sometimes, he shows up to where Laurie's crying, all of a sudden the light
his
illuminates
mask.
the mask.
Yeah, dude, that was
none
badass.
of that was there. So for me, what they got right, Michael was great. Michael was really cool, looked really good, very brutal. I did not appreciate the lack of tension, exactly what you said. What they got wrong, though, is there was no consistency between the three movies. So the first one, they were obsessed with hearing him speak. They're trying to understand him. They want to know what's going on. And, what's making him tick? Is it Laurie? Is it the one that got away? Or is it just he just wants to kill? And
there you go with those plot
and
holes
so
again,
on.
dude.
Yeah. So then the second one, they even touch in the flashback. They talk about he always looked out his daughter's window. What was he looking out at his daughter's window?
Oh, I
was he
remember
looking
that.
is he looking at himself in the
We
reflection?
talked about this before, yeah.
Yeah. So now it's that. Dude, why does Michael keep returning to that? And he returns when he kills Big John, Little John. He's there. He was there in the flashback, and then he's there at the end of the movie where he kills Karen. So there's something up with that window. What's happening there?
And it might be the reflection.
Well,
Very
a lot of people
could
were
be.
talking about the radio station. A lot of people were talking about how they saw a demon in the reflection. And I was like, okay, we're going to build off that. Here comes the third one. Nope. They bulldozed the Myers house. So I was like, okay, what are they going to do? And there's a radio station. People were talking about the radio station. Does it have any significance? No. Just the
not at
DJ
all.
dies. So then now the evil is able to lurk between person to person. And they touched on it so lightly, and it pisses me off to where the town's being affected. Even in Michael's absence, the town's being affected. They could have gone that direction instead of Corey Cunningham. They could have shown the town, the wife survived from after having the fluorescent ball shoved in her neck. Allison's friend that tried to make the move in the first one, I don't know if you noticed, but that old lady hanging was his mom wearing his Halloween costume at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, no, I didn't. No.
Yeah. So they could have gone that route. Okay, let's focus on Haddonfield now. No, they touched on it for 3 minutes.
Barely, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, it would have been awesome seeing Haddonfield completely torn down and trying to recover. Even in Michael's absence, in his absence, it's still affecting the town. But no, instead we got Corey Cunningham. And every time I say Cunningham, Richie Cunningham, my wife Oprah. So it was just all right, this is just, there was no consistency throughout all three movies. So agree. That would have what I would have done different for that was tie it up, don't go to activism like they did with Kills. And I probably would have time jumped after the first one. Dude. Yeah. Halloween loves to do that. The first and second one, number one, Halloween and Halloween 2 was at the hospital, but that was perfect. I loved that.
They blended well. It was like it continued.
Right.
It was nice.
And it touched well. Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2, they touched on it for a little bit. It was a dream sequence, I guess. And then for Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills. Like, it's like, fuck, man, give us some time to fucking breathe, you know? Mm-hmm. And I would have much rather have had Laurie, instead of Laurie in a hospital the whole time.
Oh, shit.
Let's do a little bit of a time jump and go from there. But, yeah. Whatevers.
It is what it is, though, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I already said it. I take the end of Ends and put it at the end of Kills. You know,
that was awesome.
That's like my fix right there.
Yes, that is such a simple fix.
Yeah.
We should reach out to someone and be like, I need you to edit this, put that at the end, and go from there.
It would have worked. Like
perfect. It would have worked. It would have worked.
Yeah.
A good 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
It's a very rare that the third movie holds water to the first two.
Mm-hmm.
So but, I like that, Brandon.
The original was simple.
Yeah.
It built the tension, kept you guessing. It was dark, like I said. The music was always right. It gave you the chills. I like the gory aspects of these movies. Like that's fine. It doesn't bother me. But the original, there was no blood and gore.
No, it's left to your imagination.
It still gave you that fear of Michael Myers, though. Mm-hmm. That's what I was wanting for these movies. That fear, like, fuck, man, that's Michael. He's back.
Yeah. You know? Yeah.
And it sucks. I really wish I enjoyed the movies altogether, but I miss that.
Yeah, I won't revisit the trilogy the way I revisited the first.
Mm-hmm. No,
I mean,
not.
I don't revisit really Zombie very much, and I don't revisit Resurrection. But the first 7, I've watched numerous times.
I pretty much do. Yeah, for sure. If they're on. I'll watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a missed opportunity, but it sounds like we're getting a show here soon. I don't know what we're gonna expect from there, and I was gonna touch on this episode, but I'll save that for another day. I'm writing up something for,
dude,
my own Halloween thing.
So I did too.
Did you?
I started doing something. Yeah.
You wanna?
I'll give you what I have.
Okay.
And it's not a lot right now.
I'll give you mine afterward. I only have the first one.
Okay. All right. So I'm rebooting this fucker from ground up.
All right.
So I was originally just putting notes down, and then I literally started talking as a story as I was typing it out.
That's what happened with me.
I go, now it's a story. I was like, whatever. I'm just going to let it keep going. But then I started doing little notes at the end. Okay. I'm going to open up like the original did. Okay. And I put the 90s. I don't know. It doesn't matter, I guess.
Sure.
Michael's age 12. His sister's 17. Builds up at Michael at school being bullied.
Okay.
So it's like his little version now, oh, shoot. Hold on. This is not the one I wanted to read, actually. It was this one. Okay. Same thing. He's being bullied. He's at his desk drawing stuff. You can see him, like, drawing, and the camera's, like, coming in. And it, like, comes over him, and he's drawing the exact clown mask he had on in the original movie when he killed Judith. So he's drawing it, and these two kids come up and push it out of the way and start bullying him, making fun of him, Anyways, he starts walking home from school, and these boys, same two boys, jump out and scare him and just start messing with him. He starts running away, crying, and kids are yelling, "You're still afraid of the boogeyman, aren't you?" So he's running away. Anyways, he gets home. He's done. He's crying. He's just lost it, And then something like in my head, I'm picturing him like on a bed, and then you can hear like these little faint whispers and stuff in the back. and then
Okay.
it just cuts off, and it's like thunder and lightning all of a sudden. It's nighttime, and it shows him waking up, and he's getting out of his bed, and he's walking into his mom's room. I guess you probably have to change the age for a little bit younger version of him, but walking in the mom and dad's room, and he crawls up in the bed, and you can see him like kind of crawling down the middle, and he's just sitting there and looking at him, and they're both like sleeping, and just has a knife and goes right across their throats.
Oh,
Just rips their throats wide open, and then gets out of the bed, and the camera is facing down the hall, and he steps out into the hall like he would normally do in like the movie.
yes, the turn.
And he slowly turns, and he's heading down to Judith's room. Mm-hmm. He opens the door. She's gone. There's a fucking the window's open. She climbed out because she went to her boyfriend's house.
Oh,
so knowing this, because he already knows this, he went downstairs, went outside, and as he was walking down the street, a cop sees him, and like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
He has a knife in his hand. He's covered in blood, and that's that part right there, and then time goes by. Hold on, where's my notes?
So Judy lives
for now.
Oh.
Well, yes. But I wanted to say, when he was walking down the hall, he had like this numb face. The lightning would strike and you could see it, and it was just like fucking straight faced, and it was just numb. He was just he was gone. Like Michael, as the kid, was not there anymore.
Okay.
And then so anyways, goes to the boyfriend's house. He's outside, gets stuck. Takes a similar take on the original. He goes away to a mental institution, and it builds a storyline more from there. Introduces Dr. Loomis. Meanwhile, Judith is with an aunt or family member. More to the original. Years later, something happens at the hospital, and he escapes. Now 20 years old. He's back in Haddonfield looking for Judith. Now it's following this take. Laurie Strode is not in my movie.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then it takes it from the original. He acquires the mask and jumpsuit, and then it kind of slowly blends. That's all I have gotten so far.
I like that. We should.
So I'm like I said, I'm taking a whole different route here, and not even going after Judy or Laurie Strode, and I'm sticking with the sister brother thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, all right, you might invite. Yeah, I like
that.
Go
ahead.
I like that. So mine is titled Michael. Okay, this is a far different approach. My dog is like all over me. I don't know what's going on. So the opening scene is absolutely chaos. Sort of like oh my god, I had the movie on the top of my head. What's the Tarantino movie with the bank heist? Reservoir Dogs. So it's like that. They're in the car. Okay. Judith is being rushed to the hospital in her parents' car. No one knows Michael did it right now. It's just chaos. The dad's driving. Judith is wrapped in a sheet. There's blood everywhere. Judith keeps trying to talk. She can't talk. Michael's in the front seat just staring. And they're just flying to the hospital. It's just chaos. It's raining. They're all yelling at each other. And they get there. And, Michael's dad, the parent, like, looks at Michael like, what happened? Like, they don't believe that he did it. And he is not saying a word. All they know is he's in his clown costume, and there's blood all over his hands, all over, like, splattered all over him. And then come to find out, Judith does get it out to the mom, and she whispers to the dad. Okay. And all of a sudden, like, it's like the dad's in Michael's face screaming, Michael! Title sequence. All right.
Damn.
And so, so then we're at we show a young Dr. Loomis. I'm talking, I want Michael Fassbender to be Dr. Loomis. So he's full of life and energy.
That's solid.
He's full of life and energy. He's starting his career. He's married. And then he's assigned to Michael. And he's, Michael's normal. He's a child. Mm-hmm. And he goes, wow, he's finding it hard to believe that Michael would able to pull this off because Michael's just being Michael. But the slower they get to Halloween, the anniversary of it, Michael starts shutting down and becomes absolutely quiet. Stops saying a word. And so Loomis is like freaked out, like what is going on? And that's when he starts becoming almost obsessed, and he is starting to drink a little more. He's like, what is going on? So he tries something different. So he goes, okay, like Michael's been asking about Judith. He has no recollection of what happened. So at one point, they're like, okay, Michael starts bringing in the crime folder, and he starts introducing it to Michael, like, hey, this is what happened, this is what you did, do you understand? Like, he's trying to reach Michael. He's bringing in the family, and all of a sudden Michael like breaks out of a pale look, and he looks at Dr. Loomis and he goes, this isn't me, I'm scared. And Loomis, like, he hasn't heard him talk in months.
Split personality?
Yeah, so he looks and he's like, Michael, what's wrong? And all of a sudden Michael grabs Loomis's throat and is super strong. Like, Loomis cannot break away. Ooh. And all of a sudden he's pale in the face again, and he breaks free. The orderlies come in and breaks free, but Michael does not stop looking at Loomis, just staring, like, hard.
Dude, I'm gonna have to steal something of that.
Okay,
just because I just imagined this.
Yeah. So Loomis is freaked out. This is where Loomis starts getting dark. Like, he's obsessed now. He's concerned. He's becoming dependent on alcohol. He's having marital problems. He's not taking care of himself anymore. And all of a sudden we have a dream in Smith's Grove, and it's the point of view just like the original Halloween, but it's Loomis, and he's walking through Smith's Grove, and he opens the door, and little Michael is there, and you see a pistol rise up and fires to kill Michael as a child.
Dude.
But it breaks, and all of a sudden it wakes up, and it's a time jump. So Loomis is much older now. You could tell, like, he's rough, he's alone, and all of a sudden he drives off. There's a scene where he looks for answers for Michael's parents. They reside somewhere in the country. Michael's mom is on life support due to a suicide attempt, and the machine that keeps her breathing sounds like Michael's breathing. The father gets upset that Loomis is looking for a reason. He goes, there's no reason. Michael was just fine. There's no reason this. And he gets upset with Loomis and asks him to leave. So Loomis is back at the hospital, and the hospital notices, like, Loomis has been struggling for years. They're going to try to help him. He's on a downward spiral. So they assign him an intern from a high school that wants to get into this.
No
and her name is Laurie Strode.
Oh.
So she starts bringing life back into Loomis. And over time, a few weeks, Loomis is coming back to life. They develop a really professional, good relationship. And she starts becoming curious about Michael. And Loomis has been keeping her away from Michael. Like, I don't want you anywhere near that room. Do not go near that room. And but she keeps being concerned. Like, there's a pull to it. Like, she's interested. She's a kid. So at one point, Laurie does look into Michael's files, and without Loomis knowing, and now has become aware that Michael has not voluntarily moved for 15 years. He's not has made no voluntary movement. He just sits and stares. They feed him, they get him dressed, like he's not doing anything. So, but Loomis is always weary of it. So during one scene, a nurse forgets her notes, but her hands are full with whatever. Forgets her notes in Michael's room, and it's creeped open, and Laurie just happens to be there. So I got something here, hands full. She asks Laurie to retrieve it. Laurie goes in against Loomis's wishes and retrieves it. She enters the room. She sees Michael sitting down looking out of the window. So she's behind him. And she grabs a piece of paper that's off the desk, and Loomis turns the corner, and now there's an entrance. Loomis is at the entrance. Laurie's at the other side of the hallway, and Laurie turns, and now Michael is standing straight up looking at her. So he, without knowing, he stood up out of the chair and is now looking at her. Damn. And Loomis is freaked out, like, Durr! Loomis is freaked out. And he's like, Laurie, get out of the room. Get out of the room. And he's sitting there hitting the alarm like, holy shit, this guy moved for the first time in 15 years. And Loomis is shocked and terrified, tells Laurie to walk slowly and get out of there. It's his first move in years, and Michael notices Loomis cares for Laurie. So he's taken notice of this. And so after a while, Laurie writes up an exercise to have Michael try and look into himself. So she gets with Dr. Loomis and was like, listen, I've written up this exercise. You need to show Michael a symbol of himself, and it's not by looking through a mirror. She's like, I have this design that I would sculpt that I'd like you to use for him to do, and it's the mask.
Oh,
it's
yes.
the Myers mask. And so, what do I have here? It's a classic to shape mask, no emotion like Michael. Loomis uses the exercise, and Michael breaks his stare and looks directly into the mask, but he never blinks or breaks eye contact. So now he's locked in on this mask. So they're getting some movement. There's something happening with Michael. And so after that, the finale of the movie is the escape from Smith's Grove, where Michael turns the place into an absolute bloodbath. He releases several of the inmates, and he's sneaking up on guards and nurses along with other inmates and killing them all one by one. And Loomis shows up immediately, calls the authorities. He's hunting down Michael throughout the huge hallway with all these other inmates, just running through, alarms going off. It's dark, the lights are red, and he ends up being overcome by Michael. Not killed, just overcome, and he ends up taking Loomis's car. So inside, Michael, Loomis runs to his office and he sees the mask is gone. And what he doesn't know yet, he doesn't get a chance to look because it's just pure chaos, is the file on Laurie. Laurie's information for being a high school student is taken. So he doesn't know that yet. That's not until the original, to where he's now after Laurie to get at Loomis.
Wow.
And that's the end. That's the breakout of Smith's Grove would be the end.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So no, they
and I'm in the middle of writing.
That's
Halloween.
so weird though. You started writing that because I actually
That is weird. Yeah.
All I was gonna say, I was like, this is what I would do. I'd do this route, maybe this route, and then call it a day. I actually thought about kind of something like what you originally said about doing like what if scenarios.
Yeah.
And do a whole, I don't know if you want to do it an episode or what, of just Dr. Loomis side of everything.
See, that's what I want.
Because I think that would be interesting to see. Like we know who Dr. Loomis is. We know all the therapy and whatnot, but we never got to really see everything, what he went through and stuff. So it's kind of funny that you're taking that route. That I was like, yeah, I could.
That's what I want my trilogy to be, because honestly, Halloween, because the next one's just titled Halloween, and it's more Loomis now tracking Michael down to try to find out, but he hasn't put together that he's after Laurie.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, where's he going to go? Is he going to go to the parents' house? If not, okay, he's going to go to his childhood house. If he goes to his childhood house, who was there? And he's not aware that Laurie is from Haddonfield.
Okay.
He hasn't spent that time. He hasn't looked at that. All that stuff is from the HR office, taking care of, the and all that fun stuff. So, and then once he puts it together, Laurie is killed at the end of this movie. And that's what just sends Loomis just into.
Damn, dude.
I want Loomis to start becoming more like Michael and symbolizing Michael, but on the other side of the spectrum. And you want me to tell you the end of the trilogy?
That's up to you.
Okay, so Laurie dies at the end of the movie.
So you are through in a trilogy then.
Yeah. So the third one.
I think it's probably best because I actually kind of thought that too.
Yeah, so the third one is very big. Like he kind of teams up with Sheriff Brackett. There's murders. So he's just trying to track him down. Like he's got to be done.
I meant like Michael Myers teams up with the sheriff and stuff.
No, yeah, Loomis teams up with the sheriff.
Yeah, he's teaming up. Okay.
So at the end, pretty much Loomis realizes like I need to take myself out with him, and it does so. So Loomis ends up dying at the end. I haven't figured out how they're going to die yet. So Loomis ends up dying at the end of the third one. And there's a, they're at a graveyard, and there's a woman and a child a woman and a daughter walk up to the grave, and she puts flowers on Loomis's grave. Well, it is Laurie. She just has a huge scar across her neck. Yeah, she ended up living. And what they didn't know is Loomis wasn't actually in contact with Laurie this entire time. He knew she faked her death. And the daughter, Jamie, asks who, it's Jamie. And, Laurie explains like how Loomis did all this to keep them safe, so forth and so on. And I kind of borrow from It Follows here. So when they're leaving the graveyard, there is a figure in blue coveralls in the background walking, but you don't know if it's a graveyard worker or if it's Michael. And then it cuts.
Yeah. Nice.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
so
nice.
I'm literally writing up notes for the second one, and then I'll write up notes for the third one.
Well, I got into it today. Like I said, I was like, I'm going to write something real quick, just a bunch of notes I want to hit on, and that's it. And then I was like, reading it, I was like, I'm writing this as a story. What am I doing right now?
I know.
And then I was just like, dude, I'm into this.
I know.
So I started doing it, and then, like I said, I was getting close to time for me to get moving, and I just added a quick
maybe
notes. So
one episode we could do readouts. Yeah, that's what we came up with. I think it'd be cool.
Because I figured eventually, because I have those other ones that you wrote up before too.
See, those are part of.
I don't know if you want to add them in there or whatnot, but eventually I was just going to do like a solo, like we each tell our stories and we just post them.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Even like I like the fact that you added in Michael Fassbender as Loomis too. You're imagining these characters.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I
didn't get that far. I got the far as like the two bullies. I see what they look like, and I know what he looks like, Michael.
Yeah,
I didn't, but that's it. So yeah. Dude, nice. That's fucking cool, ain't it?
Yeah, dude, I love that. I love that you and I were doing that without knowing each other were doing it.
Fucking hey, dude. Yeah, I know. I was about to surprise your ass.
Yeah,
I also like the fact
that
you did like you took shit from the original movie and you added it in.
Yeah,
that's the little things that I feel like should have been done.
Gotta have roots. I always thought it'd be cool, like Michael wants to kill Laurie out of spite for Loomis. He hates Loomis. The reason why he hates Loomis is he was able to break into Michael. He was able to find Michael for a second. So the reason, if you know Michael's name and he stops and he tilts his head, it's because they're reaching Michael inside of the shape.
The actual human Michael.
Yeah. Yep. So
awesome.
He's every time that happens, Michael is like, or the shape is pissed.
Nice.
So that's why he wants to spite Loomis by just hurting Loomis any possibly way he can.
Yeah, I was putting notes down as you're talking. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
cool. We'll do that. We'll do that. Let's try
eventually.
For the last week of Halloween. We can post those or something like that.
I'm trying to get some more episodes in, dude.
I know.
Let's see if we can get more than one a week.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, all right. Should we wrap this one up? This one was fun.
Let's do. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, all right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We are available on all podcast platforms. Please like, share, subscribe. We're on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram. And please like, share, and subscribe. We'll go from there and keep bringing you guys content as long as you guys enjoy it.
Yep. Alrighty. Until next time, my friends.
See you later.